Hello everyone. Welcome back to a live stream. Felt like live streaming, just cause I'm bored. I feel like I feel like doing stuff. I'm going to go into. I'm going to start sharing the stream with people. Still no one. Oh well. See, one person. One person. Okay. No one. No one's joining. Everyone. I'm going to assume that everyone is watching whatever the Magic Railroad lore dump is about. Sorry. Excuse me. Uh, I need people to interact with me, please. So there's one person here. One person. Uh, make yourselves known. I'm the only one. Hello, Grounder. Hello. Hello. You know what they call cheese in Paris? Le fromage. Two people now. Hello, two people. Sorry, I'm being very quiet. There's not many people here, so there's not much to really interact with. Three people now. All right, guys, make yourselves known. I can't really work with just this. 3 people. All right. So, hello everyone. I'm going to hold myself to the title of the video of the stream and tell you all 6-7. Is there some song and I think some kid said it weird now it's like a sleeper agent. So, for those who are not aware, I'll let you all know. The joke 6-7 originates from a song by the artist Skrilla, and the song is called Doot Doot. And in the song, Skrilla says 6-7, and then that's the entire joke. And a bunch of people on TikTok took that clip of him saying 6-7 and started putting it on like a bunch of clips of like basketball players like shooting threes and making baskets, whatever basketball players do. Is that like what the hell and other nonsense? Yeah, it is very similar to what the hell. Very, very similar. It's because there's a cozy with the character Ilyana Rasputina. Not familiar. Vincent, I like that you framed like what the hell and other nonsense like a Thomas DVD title. That I don't know if that was intentional, but that made me laugh. Anyways, hi. Yes. Hello. You want what the hell and other nonsense for Christmas? Sure. Yeah, why not? I love that I'm doing this stream right now, and there is a much more popular stream right now where everyone's friend Brandon Cardy is going through all of the original storyboards for Magic Railroad. This live stream is not going to be as popular, but it is going to be more important because I am doing the world a service of explaining the 6-7 joke. My crackpot advice for characterizing Elsie the luggage van is making her Polly from Amphibia. I have not seen much of Amphibia. What I did see was like 3 years ago. But I do like where your head's at, Grounder. I don't care. It doesn't have Gordon Snow Machine. Do you have Gordon Snow Machine on you? Do you? No. I gave it to who did I give it to? I had Gordon Snow Machine, didn't take any pictures. I gave it to somebody. Maybe the current state of the fandom is the real Tatmer parody we made along the way. You know what's funny, Vincent? Because the world itself is kind of like a big Tatmer parody. That's your philosophy for the day. The world is just Tatmer parody. True. You pillock, you had a once in a lifetime opportunity to do a world of service. No, I just don't. No. It's better that I didn't do it by explaining the meme. Yeah, it's a net positive. No, but Gordon Snow Machine, I don't care. I could die a happy man not knowing what the Snow Machine was ever about. Genuinely. What else are we working with here? Anyways, yeah. My machine. Dude, Master of the Lemons. Old Sam Webster is such an interesting man. I met him once. He was very interesting. Shout out to the Chainsmoker Rabbit from Tatmer Parody. I'll be honest, I have very mixed opinions about Tatmer Parody, looking back on it. Like, when it came out, it was a big deal. It was kind of a big deal. But I thought it was a really great movie at the time. But then looking back now, it's a bit long. Like I'm kind of I'm kind of a big deal. No, but I've been thinking about it again. It's just I I think what they were trying to do was really cool, and what they did make was really cool. It didn't really work for me though. Like it was just okay. Yeah, Tapper parodies all well and good. I think it's got a decent movie, but this kind of just feeds into a bigger problem that I've noticed with Magic Railroad rewrites and redos. Temporary is good for none of the reasons it's popular. Yeah, I think a lot of the story in Magic Railroad parody is quite good. There's just a lot about it I don't really care for. I know why the drug references are there. They serve a thematic purpose with Mr. Conductor. I just didn't care for them. The whole the Ertl toys are being made and sold by Top Hat and Schemer is just. I mean, it got a laugh out of me. I don't like the long standing implications. It's just a very interesting, a little interesting universe. Oh, Tatler parody. And this is just like a bigger problem that I've noticed with people who try to redo and rewrite Magic Railroad is when people take Magic Railroad, they try to split up the two halves of the movie, Sodor and the real world. They try to rip those apart and make them their own things. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I don't think splitting these two factors of the movie up and making them their own thing is wise because Magic Railroad in of itself relies on these two pieces to be connected. They're intrinsically linked. Like if you take one out of the other just feels unbalanced as a result. Sodor and Shining Time rely on each other, not just in universe, but also in the for the story, if that makes any sense. And so that's why whenever I try thinking of ways to make Magic Railroad not I'm not gonna say better. When I try to do it in a way that is more satisfying to me, I always feel bad about it because it involves removing a lot of stuff that otherwise wouldn't have been removed. It just, I don't know. That's just how I'm feeling. Magic Railroad existing the way it did is very important, and I don't want to. I don't want to take that away. Is there Revenant D10's type of rewrite that I've never watched yet? Do you mean Diesel 10 means trouble? I did watch that. I mean, I skimmed through it. I didn't sit. It was half an hour long. I didn't really. Actually, no. I did watch most of it, and I thought it was decent. It was a decent rewrite. I was a bit confused by the continued inclusion of Mr. Conductor because that still kind of muddles things. No attention span, I see. Screw you! No, but Diesel 10 means trouble. Decent little flick. Oomph was there. Liam, Tank Engine Studios, he was there. He voiced Toby in that video. He did good. It was a decent Magic Railroad rewrite, all things considered. Not how I would have done it, but I thought it was serviceable. Is this I have a question. What do you think about Wreck-It Ralph? Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph's a very interesting film, in my opinion. I think I would have to say that it's my favorite Disney film of all time. Yeah, good. It's a good film. I haven't seen it in quite a number of years, so I can't really say much about it. But I remember being very impressed when I first watched it, and even then, the times I have rewatched it, I've still been impressed with it. It's just overall, I would say that it's a good movie. Wreck-It Ralph is a good movie. I don't think I have a favorite character from it. But again, it's been like years since I've watched this. It was a great movie. Thank God there isn't a sequel. True. True. Thank God it was just one movie and that's it. Uh Come on guys, give me more like conversation topics. I need more things to talk about. I need to keep you people entertained. But that means it's a symbiotic relationship. You give me topics, I give you my opinions. It's like it's like the worst trade-off forever. It's like, you give me topics, and I give you my awful opinion. Anyone remember that meme from like 2021? Ah, who cares? Yeah. We got one like now. That's reassuring. That was me. There's an underrated Tom Cedar called Davis D. Director who has a cool series. I've heard of Davis D. Director when I was like on Twitter. I've seen him before. I think I had him muted on Twitter, which is hilarious. That was like years ago. So, what is this series about? I'm not quite familiar. I'm sure it's got decent stuff, but I'm interested. My favorite Thomas season is the CGI UK assassin. Okay, you think about the UK. I love Thomas and James. Well, that's an interesting question because you get to a certain point in CGI Thomas, and basically all of the English voice actors are British, except for like the Steam Team and like Cranky and Harold and Porter, and I think that's it. I could be wrong, but it's just like in the Nitrogen era, it was pretty segmented between like characters that had U.S. voices and characters who had UK voices. At the start of the Nitrogen era, the only characters who had like who had the same voice in both English dubs were like Hero, Salty, and Dowager Hat. Then you get in the Day of the Diesels, where basically all of the new Diesel characters and Diesel 10 have the same voice actor among both dubs. And then you get into season 16 where you have like Stafford and all the narrow gauge engines, Winston, Owen, Merrick. All of them have the same voice actor. All of them have the same voice actor in both dubs. So it's like it's a fool's errand to even like consider it. Do you like Fireman Sam? I don't care for Fireman Sam. I saw like one episode as a kid that was on a Thomas DVD. Parallel universe for CGI Diesel 10 is the US. That is Neo Chrome. Now that would have been good. I had no idea Hero and Dowager were voiced with the same person. Oh, Vincent, you take my words, huh? You twist my words. You twist my words. They're not voiced by the same person. I'm saying they have the same voice actor between both English. They have the same. Okay. Between both dubs, they have one voice. Like in the. They have the same. I'm going to ban you again. You can't even get your main YouTube account out of here. I might block your second one. Between both dubs, they have one singular voice. That is my favorite film. I'm happy he's back in CGI. You make it sound like him being back in CGI is like a recent thing, when no, that was 15 years ago. CGI also hasn't existed. It's like CGI Thomas has not existed since 2020. So Diesel 10 is back. Mattel does care. I'm gonna be honest. I was half tempted to name the stream "Look, There's Duck." Mattel does care, but that's not really my joke to use. So, holy crap, Lois! This reminds you of that weird time where a white man voiced a Victor in the UK dub of the Nitrogen era. I do remember that. What were they thinking? Why didn't they just do what they did with Hero and have just one voice actor for both dubs? Look, there's Duck. Mattel does care. So I'm thinking about posting a new video sometime this weekend, maybe. Victor's USVA voiced him in both English dubs, Brewmount Mystery, with somebody Matt Wilkinson still voices him in season 16. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Grounder, that's because season 16 takes place before Blue Mountain Mystery. Not just in a timeline sense, but in a production sense as well. Blue Mountain Mystery was the last Nitrogen production, if I'm not mistaken. Because season 16 released every episode in the UK in March of 2012, and then the movie didn't come out until September. So I think by that logic, Blue Mountain Mystery was the last Nitrogen Thomas production. It's crazy because I thought they got a much more Spanish person in the UK to voice him because his voice sounded so foreign to me. No, Vincent, sadly, that is just a white man doing a Cuban accent. Also, apologies for the noises. I got my fan going and I am not turning it off. It's non-negotiable, sorry. The white man sounded so much worse. Scar's gonna stream with him and say, hi, Shippy, hi. Hello, Shippy. No, dude, I'm sorry to say, my stream's more important because I'm explaining 6-7. 6-7. I don't know if I have any like Gen Alpha in this stream, but that's for you. I have a question. You like Soda's Legend Lost Treasure? I do. 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 8 names of live streams currently in the suggestion bar. Where's the suggestion bar? So, yes, I do quite like Soda's Legend of the Lost Treasure. I think it's a very good Thomas film. Pink sunset aesthetic, gradient, radio background screensaver. That's not a screensaver, Vincent. That's a painting that I found in a restaurant when I was on vacation. You know what? Let me go and find it. Autumn lakeside cottage night ambiance, fire pit lake. None of those words are in the Bible. people are like, actually the UK dub of Next Gen Air is better than the US dub. Meanwhile, a white man voices Victor in the UK dub. I think the UK dub gets like better objectively in the Mattel seasons. I'm just thinking retro jazz, Eternal Night of Georgian chants, Gregorian chants, monastic harmony. Oh, Vincent. Well, yeah, one bad cast doesn't make the whole dub worse. I'm inclined to agree. Have you seen Thomas Metro? I have seen Thomas and the Magic Railroad many, many times. It is a film that I enjoy very, very much. It's a deeply flawed film, but I quite like it. It's funny because regardless of how much that is true, the whole dub is still worse. Oh, critiques how I cannot stand a good chunk of the US dub. That's fair. I get it. However, I prefer the US dub. I know that's going to be controversial. But I like Martin Sherman. He's good. He's a good Thomas. Ben Small is just kind of grating on my ears, especially in Hero of the Rails. Hero of the Rails UK dub. It would be good if Ben Small wasn't there. Hero of the Rails UK dub would be watchable if Ben Small wasn't there because everyone else is actually pretty good. Farted. Hello, Thomas 54 Productions. Ben Small has grown on me, but I still for Sherman. Have you seen? Do you have a favorite scene from Tom's Magic Railroad? I don't know. I do quite like the scene of Burnett Stone firing up Lady for the first time. I think that's a really good scene. I quite like that. Martin Sherman sounds bored in Hero of the Rails to me. I much for Ben Small, especially in the chase. That is interesting because I watched the Ben Small cut. I watched the UK dub of Hero of the Rails recently, and I just couldn't get behind it. Ben Small as Thomas just sounds so whiny and high pitched, and it was just I couldn't listen to it. It wasn't that I didn't enjoy it. And Martin Sherman, he didn't even sound like bored to me. He sounded like Thomas. He sounded like what I would want out of a U.S. Thomas. Hassler was an amazing recast. I still like Ben Small. I don't like John Hassler either. I'm going to be honest. John Hassler has some of the same problems as Ben Small. Too high-pitched and whiny. John Hassler, I don't like him. Joseph May. I think Joseph May is good in Lost Treasure and Adventure Begins, and that's it. I don't care for him anywhere else. I cannot get behind Joseph May. I can just barely get behind Joseph May, if I'm honest. He's only good in the two 2015 movies, and that's it. John, do your Joseph May voice. Okay. My Joseph May Thomas, sure. Keep an eye out for Birdie, Clarabelle. I don't want him taking me by surprise. Maybe you should give up now, Birdie. You know I'm going to win. Better luck next time, Birdie. That's the best I can do. I'm sorry. He also the laugh. Yeah, because Joseph May does that. He laughs with his mouth closed. It's so good. Claps in the chat. Thank you. May is horrendous during the musical era of films. I mean, the musical era. I think he's okay. John Hassler's the better singer. I'll give you that much. Oh yeah. By the way, here is my YouTube banner. I love your Tom's impression. Thank you. Here's my YouTube banner. It's a painting that I saw in a restaurant when I was on vacation. Well, I didn't really do anything. Is this going to be just the stream where I just do Joseph May Thomas voice? I'm not opposed, but Can you even say Joseph can't sing? Because it doesn't even sound like he's trying to. It just sounds flat words. W paycheck for me. Oh wait, I missed old Train Boy 99's question. Have a question. Have you played GTA 5 and do you have a favorite? I have not played Grand Theft Auto 5 nor any of the Grand Theft Auto games. I have no interest in really doing that. I'm sure it's a great game. I just don't play video games, so I couldn't really tell you. Wow, that really is pink sunset aesthetic gradient radial background. Oh yeah, and at that same restaurant, here is some crab soup that I ate. It was yummy. I would sponsor John GTA streams. Well, if you want a GTA stream, you're gonna have to teach me how to play GTA first. Hi, John. Bro ate the crab soup. Hi, Nick. Hi. Do you play GTA 5? Do you have a favorite? I've never played Grand Theft Auto 5, and I don't think I ever will. And I don't have a favorite character because I've never played it. Hello, Nick. Hi. Bro ate the crab soup. I did eat the crab soup. It was. Is it coming out tomorrow? I don't think tomorrow. Maybe Saturday. Probably Saturday. Maybe. Probably Saturday. Tomorrow's going to be a big day. Wharf Scale Cranky's doing the season 5 scripts. Everyone's going to be busy with that. Now that I think about it, what if I released the video that me and Nick made? What if I scratching my chin here? What if Wharf Scale Cranky? Okay, yeah, Grounder, I don't think you're on like Thomas social media. Wharf Scale Cranky is this individual who won the season 5 draft scripts in the recent Brit Allcroft auction. And he is going tomorrow on a live stream at 6 p.m. EST. He is going to be going through all of the scripts and showing everyone what the original stories of season 5 were going to look like. Everyone's freaking out, excited, because Wharf Scale Cranky himself has made a lot of claims about these scripts, saying there were a lot of details, like Sir Topham Hatt being a lot more cruel to his engines. Cranky was only supposed to appear in one episode. A character was supposed to die. Boulder has some kind of explicit supernatural explanation. It's a lot. Also, Haunted Henry and Gordon's Better View are like the same, are like connected. I don't know. I ate a bee. You eated a bee? I can't believe you eated a bee. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. EST. Yeah, I hate that I'm giving this guy free promotion, but I am. Do you like Paddington Bear? I saw the first movie. I thought it was pretty good. Haven't seen the other ones. I'm sure they're great. I know Paddington 2 has new build A1 Pacific number 60103 Tornado. But other than that, I'm not that familiar with the character or the films. It doesn't surprise me that this draft season 5 scripts were much more grittier. Yeah, because the season 5 draft scripts, from what I've been told, were like the drafts that Wharf Scale Cranky has are straight from David Mitt. Like, these are just his ideas, and like not like anything near like the final episodes. That's what we've been told, anyways. I love Sonic the Hedgehog. I've seen Sonic the Utopia. I like Sonic the Hedgehog as well. I've never watched. I haven't seen the movies. I quite like the franchise. The franchise is quite good. I played a couple of the games as a kid. I watched a bunch of the shows as a kid. I'm vaguely aware of the comics. I think the characters are cool. Like the comic characters, I think they're all really cool. I think they're nice. These are either going to be peak or I'm not going to care for them. That's what I'm thinking as well. I think a lot of these drafts, it's gonna be nice to know what the original like context for these stories were. I don't know, dog. I'm kind of season five out. I'm kind of like season five is just not a season that really interests me. Now, if it was season four, that'd be a different story. I love me some season four. Love me some season four. Season four of Thomas, top two contender. It's truly a top one contender. Season four is truly a top one contender for best Thomas season. Mitten's writing has always just been 50-50 to me. That is true. I agree. Topham being more cruel to his engines, that's literally the precursor to the clickbait Topham the Dictator News articles. Yeah, you could say that, Grounder. You really could say that. There is my thing about David Mitten's writing. I think he's a good writer, but I feel like some of his ideas are a little haphazard in some ways. I don't know. I feel like the way that Thomas was so successful originally in like the show anyways, like the classic series. The reason Thomas worked so well show-wise is because it was a good balance between the two main creative voices, Britt and David. Britt and David both had a lot of ideas, and they both had a lot of strengths, both had weaknesses, but they balanced each other out in a way that made the show entertaining and good and made it work. That's the crux of it. If you have one without the other, it's unbalanced and it doesn't really work. Like if you give David Mitten all the creative power, you end up with Tugs. You give Britt all of the creative power, you end up with Magic Railroad. And I'm not saying Tugs or Magic Railroad are bad, it's just that they're not very well balanced. Seasons 1 through 5 are very well balanced, I would say. Do you like Blue's Clues? I'm so the balance makes it work. Thank you, Vincent. That's the thing. That's also why I'm thinking these season 5 drafts aren't going to be nearly as good as the final episodes, because we're seeing exclusively David's ideas without Britt coming in and making them modifying them. The balance is not going to be seen in these drafts, and that's what I'm worried about. Low-key, that's why I just don't like Tugs. I used to be a big fan of Tugs. I used to be a massive fan of Tugs. Nowadays, I just don't care. There's 13 episodes and however much behind the scenes material. That's not much to really go around. Like, I've had my fill. I've seen the sizzle reel. I've seen the Izzy Gomez crash scene from Jinxed. I saw all the Warrior deleted scenes. I'm good. I've had all I need to see of Tugs. I've seen Tugs over Top Hat. I quite like Top Hat. He's funny. Quite like Zoran. Zoran's my favorite. I think it's why the final outcome of season 1 is spectacular, because it was balanced and dark and edgy, also with the silly and hard and not one extreme over the other. I'm inclined to agree. Season 5 in and of itself is still a bit darker than a lot of other Thomas seasons. And I'm not trying to be like the leader of the tracks ever. Oh, let me tell you about season 5. Season 5 is one of the craziest things ever. No, I'm not going to be like that. Just a little darker, not too bad. I watched all of Tugs a few times. I never came out a fan. Mitten is someone who just needs a Brit when it comes to writing balance. I agree, Sheppy. Legend of the Tracks. That's Mutual Heart. Yeah, nothing against the guy. I'm sure he's a great guy, but that tweet, I think, kind of killed a lot of interest I had in season 5. I know that sounds really silly to say. I know that sounds like really silly to say that that a random tweet from a random guy killed your interest in season 5. But I think that was kind of the tipping point for a lot of stuff as well, because season 5 has been very overhyped in for the last 30 years that it's existed, and I'm just kind of over it. That's my thing. Anyways, who else we got here? What other that tweet had more impact on the public percentage of Thomas than the unlikely fandom. True. And it's really and honestly, unlikely fandom is going to be interesting. I'll say that much. I just find it funny. What are we? Do you like Blues Clues? My favorite is Joe. Trainboy99. I hate to break this to you, but the only children's show that I have any interest in is Thomas. I don't really care for any of the other ones. I'm sorry if that's disappointing to hear, but I only really care about Thomas. What else we got? Pretty consistent conversation topics. 41 minutes, not bad. Should have tapped into DuckTales 2017. I should have. I really should have. I heard it was good. Chibiverse. I hardly know her. DuckTales 2017. I've heard it's good. I've seen clips. It looks funny. I know Ben Schwartz is in there. People say I sound like Ben Schwartz, which is really funny. But yeah, one of my favorite things ever. I'm so sad I only got 3 seasons. I've seen a few episodes of DuckTales 2017. It is a really good, but I need to continue it. There's a lot of Disney shows from like that weird period between the end of Gravity Falls and the start of Owl House that I just never picked up. Probably should go back and fix that, but we'll see. Lin-Manuel Miranda is also in DuckTales 2017. Never mind, I'm not watching it. Sorry. Do you guys know Lin-Manuel Miranda was in an episode of House MD? Did you know that? As Fenton Crackshell Cabrera. Fenton, as opposed to fentanyl. Can you do a James the Red Engine impression? Ooh, I probably could. I voiced James for my friend Stepney Boy, who is the creator of Thomas Dream Misadventures. I think the reason Season 5 is so well regarded is because it's the only place we actually use the full balance of Nitten and Allcroft. That's fair. That's a fair thing to say, I think. Okay, James the Red Engine impression. I'll just do my James voice that I do for Thomas Dream Misadventures. You should see it from Cranky's point of view. He's high up in the air, dealing with wind, rain, and baking sun. Then he looks down on you two, being annoying. It's no wonder he calls you bugs. I can do James. Yeah, we know you can do James, Sippy. Not that it's bad, but it's the only true example of the purity of that balance. I agree. That's a decent take because, with seasons 1 through 4, they had to abide by the rigidity of the Audrey stories, and then season 5 was the only place they could really have their creative boundaries. They could be the ones to set their own boundaries. Tick Tick Boom is great. I'm not familiar with Tick Tick Boom. What is that? I'd love to see you do a Diesel 10 impression. Ooh, Diesel 10. Well, first of all, let me get my nose spray. My allergies are getting bad. Favorite of the Audrey, Britt, and Mitten balance being a rush job point adds to me. It's a musical based on a true story. Not familiar. Lin-Manuel Miranda, I believe. Yeah, that tracks. Diesel 10 impression. All right, listen, you two. I got a job for you, Splodge. Actually, it's Splat and Anthos. I ain't got time to say both names. I've come back to find a steam engine. Oh, that's easy. They're everywhere. Not the one I want. She escaped me once before. As long as she exists, so do the others. But if she can be destroyed, did you say destroyed? Destroyed like hurt? The word? Huh? Yeah, destroyed. What of it? Well, there's one small problem, boss. Mr. Conductor's coming back, and he was not going to let you do that. I can do whatever I want. I'll get him too with Pinchy. Oh, Pinchy! I hate it when you do that. There's also a movie version directed by Miranda and starring Andrew Garfield of a musical written by the guy who wrote Rent, about the process of writing musicals itself. Vincent, the way you describe that sounds like a musical written for you. That sounds like a musical perfectly tailored towards you. Or was it one from Andrew? Top Hat from Tons. Gotcha. All right, let's see. Oh yes, I say hello. Have you come to save the day, 10 cents? Be as quick as you can. I couldn't have put it better myself. Sure, there you go. I promise I'm a better voice actor. I promise I'm a better voice actor than that. I can do so many other voices. My favorite voice to do lately has been George the Steamroller. What are you, stupid or something? Do you understand the mental toll it takes having to chuff up and down this road next to the rails? I despise every fiber of your being. Gino Fratelli, yeah. My George voice is basically just the same voice that I do for the character Gino Fratelli from the hit web series Conscience House. Well, it started out as Gino, just me doing the Gino voice, and then slowly I realized I could do it for George as well. So the voice is just kind of the same for both characters. Like what Vincent said earlier, it's the same voice actor. It's the same voice for both. Dude, I miss Conscience House. When's the next episode of the Gino show? I'm sure it'll be heat. Oh, it'll be peak. It'll be peak. Oh God, I've had a horrible idea. I've had a horrible idea, and it involves that. You're amazing at doing impressions. I do impressions too. Did I miss 6-7? No, May May, you did not miss 6-7. In fact, I'll explain it again for the new people. The joke about 6-7 started with a song by the artist Skrilla called Doot Doot. And in the song, Skrilla says 6-7. And that song got really popular, and people took the bit of him saying 6-7 and using it in clips on TikTok of basketball players making free throws and shots and stuff. So that's the entire joke of 6-7. 5, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? Practicing your numbers, Gordon. That's a good engine. I'm counting how many seconds late you are. What does that sign say? Sodor Railway. Really reliable and right on time. Signed, head of the railway, Sir Topham Hatt. But you weren't on time, little Thomas, and you're being bossy, Gordon. There is my Magic Railroad Thomas and Gordon impression for anyone interested. I need 6-7 more, John. I need more 6-7. All right, here's your hourly 6-7. 6-7. I love the Owl House. I've seen season 3 thanks to my friend from school, David. Thanks, David, for Owl House content. I did enjoy Owl House. I enjoy it quite a bit. Good show. It makes me it's a show that makes me very happy. Thanks, David Mitten. David Mitten would not have endorsed the Owl House because I feel like there wouldn't be enough explosions. I still really like King. King's good. Thanks, David Mitten, for the Owl House. Oh yeah, you're going to turn the ugly wooden step me into TFCS Jace's Torah. Yeah, teacher, I got a question. Who is Torin? I don't know who Torin is. I'm sorry. Mm, 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 mm. My favorites are Loose, Amity, and V. I do like Loose and Amity are yeah, they're still my favorite characters. I would say Loose, Amity, and Willow. They're all three of my favorites. There's very few characters that I hate from the Owl House. Of course, there's old Bellows. Of course. Well, but you're supposed to hate him, and I love how evil he is. He's a great villain. He is one of the most evil villains I've seen in like a lot of Disney products. Torn is a fan character created by TCFS Jace, who works at the copper mines in Ballyhoo. To his Okay, so TCFS Jace, he is this guy in the Thomas fandom. He makes trains models sometimes. If you've seen like a high effort Harold model or Daisy model in anyone but Carson Marenka's videos lately, he made those. Bello's so guilty. True. Dude, check Discord. Okay, hang on. Sad the Owl House has ended. Yeah, it was pretty sad, but certainly went out. This is Sam Marley. What is this related to 6-7? Let's see.
Oh, thank heavens! An adult has arrived to help me! No, no, no. I'm just here to observe. How would you like to play hockey? Hockey? It's the most messed up sport in the world. It's like a prison riot, but with less rules. And you would play the best position of all. The goon. Goon. Great word. What it mean? It's that sweet spot between a dog and an enforcer. Anyone who comes near the best players on the team, the goon turns their face into mud.
Wait, hang on. What is this?
On the team, the goon turns their face into mud.
Oh, that is goofy, silly, funny. Thank you, May May. Question: What would it be like if they met Thomas Friend? It's interesting you say that. I forget the guy's username, but there was a guy. I think it was somewhere on the Thomas Twitter where he made it was like Loose and Amity, but on the island of Sodor, and it was like a comic, and it was all in the style of the Owl House. It was really really good. I forget the guy's name. If anyone remembers the guy's name, find a link to his stuff, put it in the chat. I will. It'll gracious. You will be in debt. Diesel 10 meets King Andrea. That's not a character. That's King. There's a thumb for you. Oh, King Andreas. Gotcha. That's Andreas. May. I believe that character. Bills means Kenneth Copeland when. At least there's Knights of Guinevere. The Arby's guy. Arby's. We have the meats. Knights of Guinevere was very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hey, John. Hi, Shippy. How how Seth MacFarlane pilled are you? All our food keeps blowing up. I'm not very Seth MacFarlane pilled. I'm sorry. I liked Orville. Good show. Probably his best show. Family Guy's all right. American Dad's all right. Ted the Show's kind of funny. Brian! I'm 101% Seth MacFarlane pilled. John, can you play Nights into Dreams? That is a very obscure video game. I don't know. You know what? I'll play Nights into Dreams when they make a new game. When Sega puts out a new Nights into Dreams. John, you are funny. Thank you, Trainboy99. Not how you spell my name. That's not Jahan. That's not how you spell it. I love knights. I wish androgynous people were real. I do too. I think they're quite cool. Top one things that's not happening. This is a top one contender for things never happening. Oh, you want to know what I should have called this stream? Oh my god. I should have called this stream Activating Zooey Mama Mode. I should have called it that. For those who don't know, Activating Zooey Mama Mode is it's the name of my Discord status. Give a shout out to Ghost Bertram Theory. Are you activating Zooey Mama Mode? Yeah. Can you give a shout out to Ghost Bertram Theory? Yeah, so with the advent of one character being confirmed to be dead in the season 5 drafts, Mei, as well as many other people, have been theorizing lately that the character who is dead is Bertram. And the original draft of Toby's Discovery was supposed to be Toby talking to the ghost of Bertram and not a living engine. I miss the self-proclamation. Well, I'm sorry, Shippy. I can't say that about myself anymore. I have responsibilities now. I can't say such horrid things about myself. At least not in public. I like to think the top of mischaracterization is because he's a capitalistic businessman who hates his engine is the characterization of the Soda and mainland manager. I can. Good for you. My theory for the top of mischaracterization, I don't even think this is something exclusive to season 5. If you've ever seen Rusty Saves the Day from season 6, this is also a problem. Where Topham is just characterized as apathetic to the situation, is not going to help the engines at all. And I think this is because I think David just couldn't get the idea of an apathetic vehicle controller out of his head after Captain Star in Tugs. I think that's it, because there's even a bit that Worfskill Cranky confirmed in the scripts that said that Topham was standing with a megaphone and he's like, "Get back to work." I almost made a series literally about season 5 and Topham becoming more and more greedy and neglectful. Honestly, Vincent, that would have been cool. Sounds even better than Bad Influence. I'm just kidding. That's not very nice. My favorite Thomas episodes are Red versus Blues and PA Problems. PA Problems was a very interesting episode when it first premiered in September of 2017. It was a good episode. Good episode, I think. That was funny. Thank you. No, guys, if you haven't seen Bad Influence, go watch Bad Influence. Vincente 22 is a very good director. He made Bad Influence, and Bad Influence is good. Go watch it if you haven't. Good movie. I'm John Steak and Cake, and I approve this message. Oh my God, John, did you hear what happened? No, I didn't. What happened? It's the exclamation points. Ah, Top Hat's my favorite. He's like he is. No, Sir Topham Hat is nothing like Top Hat. The only characteristics they share is the fact that they have the same headwear. Will Smith just slapped Chris Rock live on stage at the Oscars. Whoa, I didn't know that. We better alert the masses. Hello, Mr. Unemployed. Can you explain the 6'7" joke? I'm 23 and I don't understand. Well, first of all, I need to. Who is this individual? Wesley. I've never heard of this. Hello, Wesley. Nice to have you here. Sorry, I have to run background checks on all the people who join my streams. Getting too old for these kids and their memes. All right, so here's your every 15 minutes we're going to do an explanation. So, earlier this year, the rap artist Skrilla put out a song called Doot Doot. And in the song, Skrilla says 6'7", and that clip of him saying 6'7" got really popular on TikTok with people editing that clip to basketball players making free throws, and that is why the joke 6'7" is so popular, because it's from a song. Hello, Speedy Fastera. Can you explain the kid doing it? The kid doing it is just kind of an extension of the meme itself. The kid is just saying 6'7". But the thing is, the way the internet has gone lately, I can't explain the kid exactly because I don't have all the context there. But what I do know is that how do I say this? I think people just just took hold of just grab hold of that kid just saying it because he looked funny, and then just turned him into an analog horror abomination. Who's your favorite upcoming on the transporters? I don't know what that is. Hello, can you please explain 6'7"? I'm so instructions unclear. I keep saying 21. You stupid. No, I'm not. What's 9 plus 10? 21? You stupid. I hate that the most popular Thomas meme currently is a mix of the hit era intro and thick of it. Now, let me explain the thick of it meme, because it's actually really interesting. So, the engine roll call thick of it remix has some very interesting story behind it. I'll explain that meme for you. So, in October of 2024, YouTuber KSI released his original song "Thick of It," and as we all know, the song was garbage and he got made fun of very harshly for it. And around that time, Thomas fan Stumpy E4, I believe that Stumpy 04, E4, Stumpy E2, Short Stumpy Engine on SoundCloud, recreated the Thick of It song using the engine roll call instruments, like the instruments used to make the engine roll call song from Thomas and Friends. And that was pretty popular in of itself. It got a few hundred likes on SoundCloud, and the world went on. However, in June of 2025, a TikTok user who I do not remember the name of, but I probably could figure out if I dug far enough, made a video of the character Coral Glasses from the Ina series, from the Ina web series, the character Coral Glasses. Just doing like dance, like just doing like frame by frame dance poses to the beat of the song while doing a parody of the thick of it lyrics to the engine roll call remix. And from there on TikTok, the trend got picked up by all different sorts of people from all different walks of life and all different sorts of fandoms. A lot of my friends have attributed to it being a Dandy's World meme, which no is actually not true. Which, by the way, Dandy's World is a very popular Roblox game. But no, this was not a Danny's World thing. It started from an Ina creator. But that is why the engine roll call thick of it is so popular, because it got picked up by a bunch of different fandoms, with most of them not even knowing it's a Thomas thing. Can you do an impression of Toby the Tram Engine and Loose from the Owls? I can't do Loose. I can't do that. I can't make my voice sound that feminine. But I can do Toby. I can very easily do Toby. What's important is to stand up on our own wheels to Diesel. And if he finds her, I fear that will destroy us all. Yes, Gordon, even you. I'm sorry, you two, but Diesel heard every word you said. I'm going after him to see what he does next. You two best carry on and get the mail delivered. Oh, Diesel won't bother with an old engine like me. He thinks I'm really useless. There's your Toby. That's Confior Magic Railroad Toby. I can also do Patrick Breen Irish Toby. Bumping railway trucks is not being really useful, Thomas. I don't like Patrick Breen as Toby. I don't think he's a very good Toby. Toby, I know you're very wise, but these trucks are very silly. Then Percy says, silence. And then Henry says, you can't say that, Percy. You can't say the word silence. Only the Fat Controller can say that. Why was he inexplicably Irish? I don't know. A question: do you like Toby the Tram in the UK or US? I don't think I can answer that, because I don't like his UK voices. I don't like his US voice in CGI. I like Confior Toby from Magic Railroad. I don't know why Toby was Irish. UK in a heartbeat. I don't like Ben Small as Toby, and I don't like Rob Rackstraw as Toby. I like Confior as Toby. What's important is to stand up on our own wheels to Diesel. He's a very fun voice to do as well. You guys see that new Sotor's Finest? New Sotor's Finest tomorrow. My actual voice sounds like that one Farmer and Hilda, sounding more like Toby than Toby in the CGI season. New Sotor's Finest today, yeah. I found Daisy Sotor's Finest to be a nice video. It was a good video. I was really hoping that Daisy was going to be the next one that old Nick Goodrich did. And it was a good video, very informative. I'm glad that there's. I'm glad. I think it's funny that the theory that Daisy's episodes in season 2 were not planned, and I love that we have direct confirmation of that now. I also like big fan of the Sotor's Finest series, like the Sotor's Finest like skit videos. I really like that Chase Feed, or Chase the ferroquinologist. I think it's really cool that he's voicing Toby. I think he's a good Toby. It's good that he is voicing Toby in those videos. Um, Sodor Sodor Online is my favorite Thomas game. Ugh. Ugh. I don't know about that. Can you please explain the hook up cranking? Who up cranking? They soldier boy. Cranking 10 a.m. Okay. Oh, hang on. Hang on. That is not what that means. Not what that means at all, Wesley. I should be very explicit about that. Cranking they soldier boy is not cranking they hog. Two very different things. Cranking that soldier boy is a dance move from like 2005. From the song okay, Cranker's taking no. Euphrates River. Can you get pregnant with a garlic bread baby again? No. No, I cannot do that. No, I'm not getting pregnant again. No, thank you. Hearing Soto online is my favorite Thomas game is a human rights violation. True. Oh my god. Soder's finest isn't a skit. It's a life or death depiction of Soder's last stand against the tyranny of SC Ruffy. Like Tom Kenny's SpongeBob voice. He's the only SpongeBob voice. What do you mean? He's the one. He No one else has voiced SpongeBob, I don't think. Is this like a Thomas the Tank Engine channel or something? Oh boy. You don't know the half of it. What is going on? I joined for 6-7 funny meme. Hey, okay, 6-7. There you go. That's your hourly 6-7. What is going on? I joined for 6-7 funny meme. Oh my god. I didn't think this many people would be joining just for me to say 6-7. I'll do it. I'll be the surrogate mother of the garlic bread. I appreciate that, May May. Don't do that. Always nice to have a normal ass person in one of these streams. I joined for you to explain 6-7. It's funny. They want you to say it. Evidently so. I didn't think. Well, now, Wesley, I'm trying to figure out. So you know of my Twitter, and you wait. Hang on. I need to dissect what's happening here. Not as funny when I put it in chat. 6-7 is Shane Dooney and Grounder. No, fake Thomas fan. Boo, fake Thomas fan. Fake fan. 6-7. John, oh my God, John. Shane Dooney is number 5 and Patrick is number 6. You were hot cranking at 10 a.m. on Halloween. No, I was not hot cranking. That is not true. That is not true. That is not correct. That didn't happen. Cranking a soldier. But Patrick and Alaric, can you do a SpongeBob and Pat? I was gonna I'd like you to explain if you don't mind. We expect some more cranking this upcoming. No, I'm gonna be very busy on Halloween. Not hog cranking at all. Far from it, in fact. Far from it, actually. I'm probably gonna wait. Hang on. What day is Halloween this year? What day is it on? Oh, it's a Friday. I got class that day. Yeah, no, not cranking hog. No. No. I have class on Fridays, so I'm gonna be busy with class. I will be. Teacher, when you suck at the class. Oh, brother, you've just been flunked. Insane knowledge, insane joke. Oh my god. Going banana. Wait. Wait a second. Wait a ding dong dang second. Wait. Oh my. Hi, John. I'm back from the Magic Railroad stream. Hi, Nick. Things are going insane. Elaborate, please. Okay, so I didn't know John was based like that. Oh God. So, oh God. I think I'm. Oh, what's happening? Do Ice Cream Van from the Hit Era impression? Ice Cream Vans don't even talk. So, I'll be honest. I don't know what I was thinking when I said that. I was just about to go to bed, and I thought it would be funny. I didn't consider the date of the national tragedy that it was posted upon. That's my bad. I'm sorry. Hi, John. Can you explain 6-7 joke to me? I'm late, but I just got here. Sure, Tony. I can explain 6-7. So you have Thomas the Tank Engine related tweets dating back to 2023. John, what are you talking about? I think Joe Hawley knew the consequences. Wes, somebody please explain the Thomas lore. So let me tell you about season 5. Oh my God, Blue Tank Engine is in the chat. What am I missing, dude? Wesley, you let me tell you about season 5. Okay, so Wesley, my good new friend. I don't know. You beat me to it. Of course, I beat you to it, dude. Hype moments in Aura season. So Wesley, I'm on board. So season 5, like Half-Life 2, is very dark and gritty. Again, all that have a normalized personage. Okay. Sure, do I need to watch the other seasons? Actually, yeah. My advice is to watch seasons 1 through 4, then watch season 5 on your own time, then get back to season 6 as intended. Wrong, the HL2 beta is the dark and gritty one. It's just like Piglet's Big Game. Whoa, 30-minute hyper be upon you. Oh my God. Thomas the Tank Engine to HL2 immediately. Awesome. Oh, you know what's even funnier, guys? I've never played Half-Life 2. Never played it. Never. I just watch a lot of videos that just so happen to involve Half-Life 2. I think that's what makes it even funnier. Okay, so Thomas the Tank Engine, pretty straightforward. What's been good is a lot like Half-Life 2. Oh my God, guys. So, Thomas the Tank Engine's pretty straightforward. It's a show about a guy named Thomas. He's a train, and he does train things. He has a lot of friends. He and his friends all live on this big island off the northwest coast of England called the Island of Sodor. The series was first started in 1945 by a reverend by the name of Wilbert Awdry. The stories began because his son, who was sick with measles, wanted to hear stories about trains. So Wilbert Awdry made up stories to tell his son, and the stories ended up getting written down because his son liked them so much that he wanted to just have them on hand. And Wilbert's son, Christopher, and his wife, they both pushed Wilbert to publish the story. So in 1945, the stories were published as the 3 railway engines. Thomas the Tank Engine himself did not appear until the second book in 1946. Thomas is British. Yes, Thomas is very incredibly British. The original run of books ran from 1945 up until 1972 with 26 books by Reverend Wilbert Awdry. And the railway, and it was called the Railway series. The series of books that inspired Thomas were called the Railway series. And the Railway series, funnily enough, got picked back up in 1983 by Wilbert's son Christopher and continued on until 2011. Unfortunate time for anything to be train based. Truly. However, in thanks, man. In 1983, a woman by the name of Britt Allcroft was working to make a TV show adapting the original books, like the original Railway series books, into a TV show. And she went on to collaborate with David Mitton, who was a director at Clearwater Studios, and they decided to make the show with actual physical model trains instead of making it animated. And so the pilot was made in 1983. It went over well with investors. A full 26-episode season was greenlit, and Thomas and Friends Season 1 was created. And the show was called Thomas and Friends because Thomas is the number one engine, and he was the most popular character when the books were running. So it was only natural that Thomas became the namesake of the TV show. And Thomas and Friends was very popular when it came out. Got even more popular in the early 90s when it started being aired in America and Japan, to which then they could keep doing like bigger and bigger seasons. Like they added more characters over time. They added bigger sets, bigger stories. In 2000, a movie was made, Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Sadly, the movie didn't do that great, which is unfortunate. And Britt Allcroft, who was the director of the movie, she decided to step down from the company that was making Thomas because of how poorly the movie did, which is unfortunate. The Thomas IP was purchased by Ghislaine Entertainment. I believe that, yeah, Ghislaine Entertainment. I think that's the name of it. And Ghislaine produced the 6th and 7th seasons of Thomas. However, in late 2002, Ghislaine was bought out by British entertainment juggernaut Hit Entertainment. And Hit Entertainment, after the 7th season of Thomas, decided to go in and make their own changes to make Thomas a more preschool-oriented show with more, like, the lessons a lot more hammered in, and a smaller cast of characters, and I don't want to say it was babyified, but, like, kind of was. Wait, which? Oh yeah, Ghislaine did season 6 and 7. 6, 7. I'm in the thick of it. Everybody knows 6, 7. How does 9/11 get involved? It doesn't. I have "They Baby It" in my notes. Excellent. The Hit era did infantilize Thomas a bit. It was still a kids show. Keep in mind, it's always been a kids program, kids books, always been for kids. I should say that. I just have autism. I really like Thomas. So 9/11 directly affected Theodore Tugboat's cancellation. We can't even talk about Theodore Tugboat yet. We can't even get started. So Hit Entertainment produced season 8 of Thomas and Friends, aired it on PBS in the United States. Despite the lower quality of the show, it was still a success because Thomas still was very successful because Hit Entertainment knew how to market the show. But the show wasn't that great of from quality, but it was still very popular. Hit Entertainment went on to produce season 8, season 9, 10, 11, and 12, with the model train, like with the model trains. However, in season 12, it was decided that season 12 was going to start using CGI animated faces over top of the model trains. Season 12 is helmed to be one of the worst seasons of Thomas for that reason. Also because the writing is really, really bad. You glossed over Strasburg Thomas, absolutely despicable. That's in the elective. This is in Thomas 101. This is a required course. Strasburg Thomas, that's in the electives. That's in 102. He's always bad writing and looks ugly as sin. Yeah. Anyway, season 12 was the most expensive season of Thomas to create. It cost 1.3 million pounds in 2008. And because it was so expensive to make Thomas with models, Hit Entertainment decided that in 2009, Thomas would transition over to being a fully CGI animated TV show, which began in 2009 with the movie Hero of the Rails being fully CGI animated. And from season 13, 14, 15, and 16, as well as all the connected movies, that was done by Nitrogen Studios in Canada, led by a man called Greg Tiernan. This isn't 6, 7. This is just Thomas. I was asked for the Thomas lore, explaining the production history. Um, so the Nitrogen era was still pretty popular for Thomas. Like the general public still enjoyed it, I guess. Thomas fans thought this was even worse. Yes, there is the Thomas fandom, as you can see here and here. Season 13 was arguably even worse than the seasons 8 through 12 era because the writing was even dumber, even babyier. I would say the cast of characters was cut down even more, and it was just 4 seasons of just I'm not going to call it slop, but just very, very desensitized, actually just sanitized kids media. Do you like My Little Pony? I don't really care for My Little Pony. Anyways, season 16 was the final, and Blue Mountain Mystery were the final Thomas productions to be produced by Nitrogen Studios, because in 2012, Hit Entertainment was bought out by global toy juggernaut Mattel. Mattel bought Hit Entertainment, and by proxy, they were responsible for Thomas now. So, Mattel brought in a new cast, a new team of writers, producers, directors to make the show a little less babyish, as far as I'm aware. They brought in people who were more familiar with Thomas's roots. Listen, the Shane Acker Thomas movie, that's unrelated because it never even got made. That's not related right now. So they brought in this new team of writers and directors to make the show closer to its roots. And season 17 and King of the Railway were the first productions. I hope Wesley's enjoying the lore dump. I'm Oh yeah, it's also worth mentioning Mattel bought out Hit just to get Thomas itself. Yeah, Thomas had that much pull. I'm getting to that. I'm writing notes. Sorry if I'm going too fast, Wesley. It's just there's so much. I have notepad open. Let's go. Disney almost did get Thomas, like once or twice. Nah, I'm getting the gist. Hit had Bob the Builder, and they wanted Thomas. Yeah, Thomas had that pull. Get it? Because he's a train. Anyways. Wait, really? Yeah. Mattel just wanted Thomas. That's what my sources are telling me. Anyways, hello, Callie. Nice to see you here. Look, like there's an AU where Disney took down Mad Bomber, and that AU was miserable. Disney got Thomas. It would have been crazy pulling it from Marvel Studios as Thomas the Tank Engine. It would have been bad, I think. So, Mattel bought Thomas in 2012, and in 2013 began King of the Railway and season 17. And then Mattel went on to produce season 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, all with a pretty consistent writer base. And the reason this era of Thomas is so popular with fans is because Season 17 through 21 are are called the Brenner era because of the show's head writer at the time, Andrew Brenner. Andrew Brenner originally wrote a lot of classic Thomas stories for a magazine in the late 80s. And so Brenner was very familiar with the roots of Thomas. And so he wrote stories that were a lot closer to the original incarnations of the characters as opposed to the sterilized versions from the past few years under Hit Entertainment. So, and these seasons were very popular with fans and kids. Well, I mean, the kids didn't really care because it was still Thomas. However, with Mattel's buyout, while the show was getting better, the toys and distribution was getting worse. It was around 2014 when Mattel decided to redesign two of Thomas's main three toy lines, Take and Play, a die-cast collectible line, and Trackmaster, a plastic motorized train line. These two toys were redesigned to be a lot more economic, which is essentially means just cheaper. And the proportions were skewed. They just looked worse. They ran on worse track, worse couplings, worse look. Just overall, just looked a lot worse. Okay, give me 2 seconds. Pause. Gotcha. All right, I'm pausing. Cheapening of toys is where I'm at. Okay. All right. Good. Cheapening of toys is 2014. 2014 is a very important year for that reason because 2014 as well is also where the toy distribution of Thomas started to take a bit of a nosedive. Wait, we're supposed to be taking notes? Yeah, guys, this is Thomas Lore 101. Is there a test? Yeah, I would think so. Anyway, so from 2014 onwards, the toy quality as well as the distribution of the toys, like in Walmart, Target, Toys R Us. Well, Toys R Us was fine. Places like Walmart, Target, Meijer got a lot worse. Wesley joining for the funny 6-7 meme only to find out a whole new group of people they didn't know existed. Yeah, Wesley, I'm so sorry that we've thrust so much knowledge of Thomas the Tank Engine onto you. Oh my god, Wesley followed me. That's awesome. Okay, I'm back, goat. Hello, 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 hello. There's any railway series lore? Okay, this is about Thomas's like production history, I should say. I'm not gonna get into like the really deep depths of like in-universe lore, at least not yet. So, 2014 was when the toys started getting cheapened, and the distribution in a lot of bigger like chain stores like Target, Walmart, and Meijer started to decrease. Less toys were being sold altogether. As well as the show wasn't really being aired that much. PBS was not airing the show as often as most people would hope. 908 characters. Oh my god. That's all. You're gonna have to share this document with me, Wesley. Um. So, yeah, the show was not being aired properly in the United States, aka the biggest market. Absolutely. Where? Preferably Twitter DMs. Let's get into 908 words. um. So the show wasn't being aired properly in the United States. Read on stream. Yeah, I'll read your notes. I'll see if they're satisfactory. Show wasn't being aired properly. And sorry, gang, just a second. Sorry, gang. Sorry, my brother was at the door. Big Mattel came to get him. Big Mattel came after me. That's right. So 2015 was 2015 was also a pretty big event for Thomas because it was the 70th anniversary. That's a bit of a footnote that you don't have to write that down. That's not very important. But actually, no, it is important because there is something very important to mention. So shows not getting aired. DVDs aren't getting put out that often, which means the show is just less accessible. Because I grew up on Thomas in the in the late 2000s with DVDs. I didn't start watching the show on TV until like 2008. DVDs are very important. Home media was very important for Thomas. 2015 was the 70th anniversary of the Thomas franchise, specifically the Railway series that it was based upon. And to celebrate, it was decided that instead of just one annual movie for 2015, there were going to be two. The Adventure Begins, which released in March of 2015, and Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure, which premiered in September 2015. Now, this is all well and good, but the problem is that The Adventure Begins was very rushed, was fast-tracked onto the production line of the new animators for Thomas at the time, Arc Productions. And Arc Productions had to incorporate this new movie in with the annual special, with the annual movie, and the annual season of 26 episodes. So they had two movies and a season of 26 episodes to make in 1 year. And that threw them off. That threw off the production. And The Adventure Begins was rushed. You ever notice how in that one shot where Gordon almost hits James, his tender's black? That's kind of part of it. James was originally supposed to be red all the way through in The Adventure Begins, but then they very quickly made him black as a reference to the Railway series. So, The Adventure Begins, you mean his tender was red. Sorry, his tender was red. My bad. Reference! Yeah. The Adventure Begins and Lost Treasure were very well received. However, it was starting to strain the production team at Arc Productions. And these problems continued into 2016 with the announcement of The Great Race, which was the annual special for 2016. And The Great Race was lauded as being this big, massive thing that was not a tie-in with the Olympics that year, but kind of a reference. But The Great Race was about Thomas and his friends being invited to the Great Railway Show and competing with several different engines in competitions of strength, speed, and style, and switching around freight wagons. Yeah. And there were 13 new characters designed and modeled for The Great Race, all from different countries. And I don't know the exact circumstances of this, but I do think The Great Race's production is, or at least was part of why Arc Productions sadly went bankrupt in August of 2016. Mattel was able to find a new animation studio for Thomas to be animated under in 2016, Jam-Filled Studios in Canada. And I've heard a lot of art production workers actually went over to work at Jamfil. So 2016 wasn't great because the animation studio had gone bust. They had to find a new one, which meant that they had lost a month of production on the following year's movie, Journey Beyond Sodor, in 2017. Journey Beyond Sodor it still is a pretty mixed opinion piece from Thomas and Friends. Journey Beyond Sodor, because they had lost that month of production, there is a 10-minute segment in the movie where the animation straight up doesn't look finished. Like, it looks fine, but you look closer and like the grass textures don't look right. Some of the backgrounds are haphazardly thrown around. Um, when the trailer for Journey Beyond Sodor and eventually the whole movie came out, a lot of people were appalled. Yeah, Vincent, that's why the Beresford, that's why the you know that clip that dropped on YouTube for Journey Beyond Sodor like 3 weeks early that people were talking about? That entire segment was unfinished. They had to rush production on that one 10-minute segment. Anyways, so production was still not great going into 2017, with Journey Beyond Sodor losing a month of progress, as well as several episodes from season 20 and season 21 losing progress as well. Season 20 was lasted from mid 2016 to early 2017. That's why there's a lot of overlap between these years with the seasons, because there's because the episodes air really weirdly. Mattel doesn't just like release them all at once. Especially in 2016 and 17, episode 2016 17 6 7. I miss my husband Tails. Thanks Dookie. Um no, but anyways, so Journey Beyond Sodor was not well received, not just because of unfinished scenes, but also because of something that was new to the movie. The fact that the engines were now like the train characters were now bouncing up and down on their chassis. Like from the show, from the original all the way up until 2016, the trains never like bounced around on their chassis and they never moved their bodies. They were always static. And Journey Beyond Sodor made the change to have the engines start bouncing on their chassis and gesturing and being more emotive. This was a very controversial change. And a lot of Thomas fans didn't like it. A lot of the general public, from what I hear, didn't like it either. And so, yeah, Journey Beyond Sodor was the first Thomas production to involve this bouncing, as it has been dubbed. Also, the story was not very well received. I think Journey Beyond Sodor is fine, but it's a whole topic in and of itself. It was not a popular movie. All right, more water. My throat is giving out. I promise I'm almost done. It's nearly done. The lecture's nearly done. I love Journey Beyond Sodor. Journey Beyond Sodor, I think it's fine. I think it's good. A decent movie. Good when you have love and whimsy in your heart. True. So Journey Beyond Sodor came out in August of 2017. And shortly after that, season 21 came out. However, a lot of people noticed that season 21 was a few episodes short. Rather than being 26 episodes long, season 21, instead of being 26 episodes long, season 21 only had 18 episodes. And people began wondering why. Well, almost exactly a week after season 21 ended, it was announced officially that for season 22, Thomas was getting a soft reboot by Mattel to become Thomas and Friends Big World, Big Adventures, which involved getting kicked off by a movie set for 2018 with Thomas traveling all around, doing a cross global journey and meeting new friends on the way. It was also said that certain main characters, because there is a cast of main characters from 2004 up to 2017, there was a cast of 8 characters who were considered the Steam Team, and those were the main characters, which included Thomas, number 1, Edward, number 2, Henry, number 3, Gordon, number 4, James, number 5, Percy, number 6, Toby, number 7, and Emily, who did not receive a number until 2020. I'll get to that. Baron Brown is cheap. I don't care. Baron Brown is good. Baron Brown is better. Okay, that's not true. Baron Green is fine. But Baron Brown is just, I prefer it. It looks better. And it makes more sense. Anyways, so when it was announced that Edward and Henry from the Steam Team were being removed from the main cast in favor of 2 new female characters to promote better gender diversity. Considering the Thomas fandom is very neurodivergent and they don't like change, but also because a lot of these changes were made very haphazardly with no real thought put into them, the Big World Big Adventures rebrand was extremely unpopular, not just with longtime fans, but also with the general public. The general public was not very happy with this at all. So the 2 characters that went on to replace Edward and Henry were Nia, a tank engine that Thomas meets in Kenya, who comes back to Sodor with him. I like Nia, she's fine. And Rebecca, who is from England, basically. Yeah, the fandom kind of got really... I'm not going to say the fandom, but there were a lot of people who were kind of bigoted towards Nia and Rebecca, especially Nia. And I do not condone any of that. I think being bigoted about fictional characters is really, really dumb, and I don't agree with that. But either way, the rebrand occurred. Fans were not happy. Season 20, the Big World Big Adventures movie came out to less than favorable reception by longtime fans. I thought the movie was pretty good. I liked the movie. I like Nia. I thought she was fun. And then season 22 followed shortly after with the introduction of Rebecca. I don't like Nia that much because I don't think Nia Grounder, I should say Nia does have personality, but she's just not handled very well outside of the movie. I think that's important to mention. I think she's a great character, but she's very poorly handled, which is really unfortunate. Same goes for Rebecca. Anyways, so season 22 and the Big World movie released in 2018. Then in 2019, sorry, hang on. Oh, sorry, I'm back. Sorry, almost 2,000 characters, by the way. Job would come back. Guys, it's me. Wait, hang on. I'm going to make something. I'm going to say Job Steak and Cake. That's me. My name's Job. Again, John Jobs. I made the iPhone. John Jobs. Yo, it's funny that I'm not. that my name's Job Steak and Cake, even though I'm unemployed. Thank you, Duke. Anyways, Wesley, where was I? So 2019 came with the release of season 23, and a couple of minor specials, including Digs and Discoveries, which took place in Italy, and Steam Team to the Rescue, which took place in Sodor. John Jobs unveils the eye steak and the eye cake. Yeah, they're two different products for that sweet, sweet extra cash. Um, and then in 2020, to celebrate the franchise's 80th anniversary, a special film was created to celebrate, which was called Thomas and the Royal Engine, which involved Thomas and his boss, Sir Topham Hatt, being invited by the Queen of England herself, Queen Elizabeth, being invited to receive an award for railway services. And it's just a 22-minute movie of Thomas and Stop Hat dicking around on England until they run into a royal engine named Duchess, end up saving her without knowing that she's the royal train, and being congratulated by Queen Elizabeth and Prince. What is that guy's name? Who's the current king of England? I have no idea. Who cares? Royal Engine's only 22 minutes. King Charles, thank you, and Queen Elizabeth and Prince Charles, Prince Gillip, and the Royal Engine is supposed to be the finale of season 24. However, due to some, I don't know if this was like an issue or anything, but it aired early. It aired like 4 months before the season 24. Married to Lizzo, by the way. All right, I'm losing viewers. I got to bring it back. 6-7. There we go. I need to tap back into the Thomas fandom, dude. I think I missed a lot. That, my memory is terrible. 6-7. Thomas fandom. So yeah, the furry episode was the season finale. The furry episode was not the finale. I don't personally subscribe to that. The Royal Engine is the real finale in my eyes. Anyways, so the Royal Engine came out in 2020. There was also Marvelous Machinery, a 44-minute special that premiered in 2020 as well. And then season 24 released in mid 2020. The what? Okay, Vincent, I should say I'm using finale in like I'm a very loose sense. The furry episode. Okay, so the final episode of season 24 proper is an episode called Thomas's. What is? Do I have to look this up? Jesus Christ, guys! You people are sick. What is this episode called? I can't even recall. I didn't even watch this season. Thomas's Animal Friends. I don't even remember the plot of this episode. Basically, Thomas is going around where he and like 5 of his friends dress up as different animals for the day. And that's the entire thing. That is the final episode of the season, where Thomas dresses up as a monkey, James dresses up as a lion, Percy as a panda, Gordon as an elephant, and Rebecca as a cheetah. Hey, John, I think you're missing a part. I'm getting to it. Hang on. Tony, I'm getting to that. We're still in 2020. What the fuck? Oh, let's be straight. Never mind. So, season 24 wrapped up in 2020, and people started theorizing about it was confirmed by certain people that season 24 had a rap party, which doesn't really happen unless a show is ending. And it was confirmed by show producer Ian McHugh that season 24 was the last season of Thomas and Friends. And people were concerned because, like, what's going to happen? Is there going to be any new Thomas content from now on? To which it was blessed upon us on let me find the exact date. That might sweeten the deal a little bit because this is recent enough to where I think I can make a joke out of this. When was this? When was this? When did this happen? I think I'm going to hazard a guess and say that it was Thomas would have had many rap parties. My apologies. Trees, hi, nice to see you. The rap party was not exclusive to the end of season 24. It's just that there were no confirmed plans for a season 25. Hello. I'm pretty sure this was October 12th of 2020 when we were shocked to find out Thomas the Tank Engine was getting a full reboot, not just the Big World, Big Adventures rebrand. We were getting a full reboot of the Thomas series. It was to be 2D animated with vector rigs or whatever the hell they're called. 2D animated show, animated by animation studio Nelvana, God rest their souls. And Thomas, as well as a handful of his friends, were to be redesigned as kid characters, as like literal kids. Like Thomas, up to that point in CGI and even in Magic Railroad, they had always been voiced by adults. This new reboot was where Thomas, Percy, Nia, a character called Diesel, and a new character called Kana were to be the main cast of this new reboot, and they were to be voiced by children. Needless to say, this lit the fucking fandom on fire. That was a crazy day. People were not happy. People were very unhappy, even unhappier when on January 27th of 2021, a leaked investor pitch for All Engines Go was leaked online, featuring official footage of this new reboot, which was titled All Engines Go. And the fans were not happy about that either. All Engines Go was officially announced, I think, sometime in mid-2021, and was officially released in September of 2021 on Cartoon Network's short-lived Cartoonito. And also on Netflix. It was a dual thing, Cartoon Network and Netflix. The show was received poorly, not just by longtime fans, but even by the general public now, saying that such a radical change from the original was alienating. I'm inclined to agree, but I still think All Engines Go is kind of neat. I like a lot of the voice acting, which is interesting to point out because since this production was happening in Canada, certain voice actors who had worked for the Thomas brand returned, not on purpose, mind you. Neil Crone, who voiced Gordon in Thomas and the Magic Railroad, returned to voice Gordon in All Engines Go, which was welcomed by the fans, as well as later on, the character Toby was voiced by Eddie Glenn, who voiced Thomas in Thomas and the Magic Railroad. A lot of people don't like Eddie Glenn's Toby voice. Can't say I blame him, but I like Neil Crone's Gordon in both Magic Railroad and All Engines Go. So, All Engines Go's first season ran for 52 episodes from mid 2021 to early 2022. Season 2 of All Engines Go had another 52 episodes, which ran from late 2022 until late 2023. Season 2 was very spaced out. And as the series went on, they reintroduced older characters from the original series into All Engines Go, and they got new voice actors, new roles. Certain characters became like like different roles and stuff. Like a character from the original series named Whiff, who in the original series worked mostly with collecting garbage. In All Engines Go, Whiff was turned into a recycling engine who liked making inventions for the main characters, which I think was cute. I like Whiff in All Engines Go. Anyways, so All Engines Go Season 3 began and ended in 2024. And Season 4 began earlier this year in January 2025 and ended around mid 2025, with a final movie special type deal for All Engines Go being Sodor Sings Together, which released in May of 2025. And as confirmed by several crew members earlier this year, All Engines Go is now over as well. All Engines Go was only greenlit for a handful of movies and 4 seasons. So All Engines Go is over now too. So now we're at the present. What's happening now? Well, other than some classic styled toys that were released earlier this year under the die-cast and the motorized lines, which more resemble the CGI characters more so than the All Engines Go characters, we don't really know anything. All we know is that there is some kind of something is going to they have said as much that something is going to happen for the Thomas brand in 2026. We don't know what it is the thing. We don't know if it's a new show, a new movie, more All Engines Go, maybe. If it's like a book, if it's just YouTube shorts, we don't know. And I'm not here to theorize. But that is where the Thomas and Tank Engine production history currently sits. Why are you summarizing the history of 2020 to 2025, Thomas? Oh, trees. You don't even know the half of it. I did a very brief explanation of the entire production history of Thomas and Friends from 1945 to 2025, which, by the way, this year is the 80th anniversary of Thomas and Friends. That's why there have been new toys for the classic style toys. What if it's just the Mark Forster movie? I don't think it's going to happen. 472 words. That is what I like to hear. Did you mention Tug's Hell? No, because it wasn't really relevant. Oh yeah, I'm not going to get into this for your sake, Wesley, but Tugs was a sister show to Thomas, created by Thomas director David Mitton in 1989. Had no connection to Thomas in universe. It was just a show about talking tugboats. The show did not get picked up by the investors they wanted, and so the show only ran for 13 episodes. That's all you need to know. Bro took a joke question and ran with it all the way through. That's the thing, Grounder. I don't half-ass anything. I mean, I do, but I don't half-ass something if it's easy. This was easy. That was easy. Imagine the announcement next year is just actually Tug Season 2. I'm not going to kill myself for that. No, thank you. Anyways, Wesley, there is your Thomas lore lecture. Your summary has been sent. I will check that out in a second. But first, I need to throw this away. Also, Tug's failure overturning killed Clearwater features. I know, but that wasn't really relevant either. I don't half-ass something if it's easy. Oh God, and cake. Hello, jogged. Hello, Tony. Hello. Hang on, I gotta check who's texting me. Okay, nobody's texting me on Discord. That's a shame. Who's okay. All right, what are we working with? All right, guys, here is Wesley's. Here is Wesley's Spark Notes. Okay, so I just said 6-7. Oh yeah, I gotta do it. 6-7. Oh, John from the Twitch stream. Hang on, what? Duck and Mavis and Tatmer. This is true. Duck and Mavis were to be in Magic Railroad, but they were cut early on. You were the American one. People. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, guys, don't distract me. Wesley's notes. Okay, so 1940s. Guy tells his kid bedtime stories about trains. Gets picked up for books sometime, maybe. Revived in the 80s with models trains. Aired internationally. Does pretty good. 2000 movie comes out. Bombs. Thomas Lady leaves. Thomas IP purchased by Gil. Oh God. Okay, pause. Wesley, I mean this in the nicest. I know you don't know this, but I'm going to tell you, it is spelled like this. That is Ghislaine. And I promise you, it is not that. That is so unfortunate. That definitely spelled the other way. It is. Oh my gosh. Maxine Ghislaine. Jeffrey Epstein, the New York financier. Anyways, Thomas IP purchased by Ghislaine. Yeah, purchased by Ghislaine. Unfortunate name, parentheses. Does pretty good. Ghislaine bought out by British conglomerate. They baby it. Continue to run the show post-baby. Seasons 8, 9, 10, 11. Holy shit, there's still model trains? I thought it was the animated show on Disney Junior by now. Season 12, Thomas CGI. 1.3 million pounds in 2008. 2009, fully animated. They've got to be bankrupted by now. Animation done by Canadian studio. Season 13, dog shit. Worse than season 8 through 12. Season 1 through 7, peak. You got that right. I'll give you that much. You certainly got that right. 2012, season 16, Hit Entertainment, parentheses, British, bought out by Mattel. Mattel unbabyifies a bit, brings in real ball knowers on Thomas. Season 12 through 21, parentheses, King of the Railway. Yeah, King of the Railway is it's a bit too specific for this. I shouldn't have mentioned it. Onward is Mattel. They brought it back. Tom Engine has never been more popular. 2014, toys and distribution suffered. Thomas begins to get aired less. They're saying he's washed. Think 2020 Dwight Howard. Who the hell is that? 2015 is a big Thomas year, 70th anniversary, parentheses, sort of important. Yeah, a bit important. 2 movies for the 70th. The Adventures Begin, Lost Treasure. Yeah, those are the 2 movies. Production team stressed, continues into 2016. Team still stressed for the Great Race, Olympics reference. 13 new characters, bankrupts animation company. Jamfil Production steps in, loses month of production on 2017 movie, parentheses, Sodor. I'm not going to fault you for that. It's called Journey Beyond Sodor, but no worries. Weird release schedule, 2016, 2017. Why are the trains bouncing? They're trains. Trains don't do that, which is a controversial change. Season 21 comes out instead of 26 episodes, 18 episodes. Reboots, question mark. Sometime missed that. Missed all the main characters. I know Tom is there. 2 characters removed for 2 new female trains, parentheses, Nia and Rebecca, parentheses, trains are gendered. Okay, cool. Sure, I can get behind that. Real quick, I want to pause and say that what does Thomas have to do with 667? Okay, tactical. I'm a fan of Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm autistic. I like Thomas. That's your summary. I have friends who also like Thomas. Don't worry about it. Um, the way trains are gendered is just it's purely a pronoun thing. Like if they say they're a girl, they say they're a boy. It's purely a social thing. Trains don't have genitals. That's very important to mention. There's no genitals, there's no sex. It's just a social thing. That is important to mention. Okay, cool, sure, I can get behind that. I don't like Thomas, but I like to railfan as a hobby. That's cool. I like real trains too. Uh, New movie comes out, less than great receptions from fans. I think we're in 2019, 2020 now. Season 23 comes out. 80th anniversary movie comes out. The Queen is involved. I'm pretty sure she's dead IRL at this point. Royal Engine is the finale, maybe not. There's a furry episode, question mark. Again, they're trains, bouncing furry trains. Oh my god. What do you mean Thomas ran out of money? They keep running out of money, Tactical. They just keep running out of money making this damn show. Season 24 is 2020 for sure. Season 24 is the end, question mark, question mark, question mark. October 12th, 2020. He's back, baby. Tommy's getting another reboot, parentheses. We're up to 3 or 4, I think. SO to Nelvana Animation Studio. That's my goat. Everyone's getting redesigned and babyified again, voiced by actual children. Everyone hates it. January 7th. Oh, sorry. January 27th. That's my bad. 27th. January 7th. That's a really bad day to follow up on. You go from January 6th, Insurrection, to January 7th, Thomas the Train. Reboot footage leaked. Everyone hates it. Released September 2021. You won't believe it. Everyone hates it. Question. I must have something in between these two. Canadian voice actors return. That's significant, I guess. Good response. All engines go. There's so many episodes complete. 2021, 2022. Completely new show. Runs for 4 seasons, plus some movies. What's happening now? Big 2025, baby. Some new CGI-based toys. Something's happening 2026. 5th reboot is my guest. There you go. Those are Wesley's notes on the production history of Thomas the Tank Engine. You did good, soldier. You are extremely invested in whatever that is you're reading. Sorry, Tactical. Those are Wesley's notes from when I was explaining the production history and lore of Thomas the Tank Engine. Scale of 1 to 10, how'd I do? I think that was a strong, solid 6. That was pretty good. That was impressive. Wesley, God bless you. I give it a 6 to a 7. 6, 7. I fuck with this channel. I'm gonna drop a subscribe on you. Thank you, Tactical. Thank you. Production history, production lore, though. Oh, come on. That was at least a 7. Wesley has entered a stream about 6, 7, has exited with a lot more Thomas knowledge than he thought he'd have written down. Dude, there's a lot of people joining the stream all of a sudden. That's really got January 7th wrong. No worries. No worries. It's all right. Not a lot of people have the time to learn all about all that production lore. Mine was very, very brief. John, you hit the algorithm. Guys, Handel was right. I got the insurrection. No, guys. No, Vincent. Handel was right. The title was going to get picked up by the algorithm. All right. Just to be clear, I'm going to do another explanation of 6, 7 for you all. So, earlier this year, there was a song by the rap artist Skrilla, and the song was called Doot Doot. And in the song, Skrilla says 6, 7. And that clip from that song got picked up by a lot of TikTok creators who make edits of basketball players just shooting threes, free throwing, and making baskets. And that's why the song's popular. That's why 6-7 is popular, because it's from a song. Oh my god. Hi Frosty. Yes, you hit the algorithm because you appeared on my feed. I had to watch an unemployed white man who looks like Lizzo explain 6-7. I look like Lizzo? That's a compliment. Oh my god, I've been here. Oh, that's what it's from. I'm old. That's okay, Callie. Don't forget about the ice cream hair kid. I am not as well versed in what the ice cream kid is about. I think he looked funny. So a lot of internet users just turn him into an analog horror eldritch abomination. This is beautiful. Thank you, Tactical. Happy you're here. Dude, I thought you were a single father. Nah, I hate children. Listen, the ice cream kid was the vessel to getting 6-7 popular. Was it though? Was it really? I was hearing a lot about 6-7 before the ice cream hair kid even popped up. I heard the SCP version of the 6-7 got a Wikipedia page before BFDI. Not a bit. I believe that. I don't think that kid deserved. I don't think that kid deserved a Wikipedia article. Anyways, hang on. I'm gonna get some water real quick. Oh, guys, this stream has gone on so much longer than I thought it would. I got water. John drinks water live. John drinks water. TikTok edits with Kendrick Lamar and mangoes. Kendrick Lamar and mangoes are a completely different beast in and of itself, but I think we're all familiar with the Kendrick Lamar stuff. I'm not even going to get into Kendrick Lamar. John, can you give birth live? I'd rather die. I did not know John could drink water. Tony, you're a certified fake fan. Where's garlic bread baby number 2? Dude, guys, I can't have another garlic bread baby. My tubes got tied. I can make it clap live. No, thank you. Don't need to see all that. I used to watch BFDI a while ago too. I remember those evil leaves chasing the crew or something like that, and they went around some sort of ranking system. I dream about it sometimes. I've never really cared for BFDI personally. Object shows are just not my thing. I don't get it. It's just, yeah. What the fuck is garlic bread baby? Did what? Oh, Shippy, this is your area of expertise. Actually, no. You know what? Either, dude. This is when I was like younger. I understand. Because as we all know, target audience of BFDI is, as we know, children. Heartbroken John, you betrayed the garlic bread baby fans. BFDIA, aka Peak. It was crazy when they made that freaking nasty stew in the evil word purple leaves. Children, I'm a grown man. My apologies, Tactical. I was making fun of my friends who like it, not you. John. Hi, Vincent. Help. What do you need help with? It was from what I've seen is total drama with objects. That tracks. I believe it. Nah, that's fine. I thought I was shadow banned on this account too. No, Vincent. You're right here. You're fine. Vincent, remind me after this stream. I'm gonna go in and like figure out why your main YouTube account is not on here. I'll have to look for it later. If one of your messages disappeared, it's probably because YouTube's gotten stricter with the filters. You can't say like certain words. It's weird. Anyways, I don't even understand the plot of BFDI. That's real. Bubsy, your favorite Thomas character? Need to know first. I don't like. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna cry tonight. Preggers, yeah. You know, guys, hold on your channel name. Bubsy40. Hey, wait a minute. Steak and cake. Hi, that's me. I'm just gonna lean back for a second. Steak and cake. Yeah, that's me. What if he was cake and steak? Nah, that's the second channel. That's the literal pot of BFDI. Wait, that's true. From my Kingers VI voice Bubsy. Recent again. I'll gather a circle for the cake and the steak. I was not aware of this before I created my channel. I've gotten this joke a lot, actually. But oh well. I'm the better steak and cake, actually. Yo, Kinger from Digital Circus. He's a great character. I'm right behind you, aren't I? So, what are we looking for again? Oh, thank you for the recap. Oh, we are not very good at this. Okay, I confirm John has a second channel called Cake and Steak. Man, this Thursday night is interesting already. Thank you, Tactical. Well, Tony, there's not much to confirm. The channel's existed since 2018. It's been there. I have like 7 videos on there. You should check them out. Thomas is moving full steam ahead for the big celebration. I can't wait for the grand opening. There's going to be flags and a big band. But is there trouble along the up ahead? I don't even remember how the thing goes. Do people think my name is a reference to Monument Mythos? That's really funny. You know what, Trees, have you ever watched Monument Mythos? I thought it was quite good, but then it fell off. Actually, in the BE87 shorts. Ooh, I see. Bubble is so silly. I love him. No, thanks. I'm trying to quit. You should die. You should throw up. Fucking beach party. Bubble, yeah. Amazing Digital Circus is good. I've seen Monument Mythos. I enjoyed what I did see back in 2023, 2022. Dude, this stream has been going on for nearly 2.5 hours. Can you do the funny number? Anything for you, Wesley, my friend. 6, 7. See, back when I was a bit more into creepy pastas, I've been getting into creepy pastas again lately. It's weird. I was never really into creepy pastas as a kid, like a lot of people were. But lately, I have been getting into the Slenderverse, which is based in a lot of series like Marble Hornets. All right, since you said anything, can you explain the Thomas Wesley? I can't. I I don't have the heart to do it. I love Slenderman. Yeah. I love Marble Hornets. I love Marble Hornets. It's great. I love the Slenderverse. I love it. Sorry, that was uncalled for. I apologize. I did not mean to get freaky. La Cultura? That died like after I graduated. I understand. I was never into like creepy pastas like Jeff the Killer, like Tricky Toby, wherever Timothy wasn't in that, but Slender Man, Tricky Toby, Masky Hoodie, all those guys. I only know those guys just from Marble Hornets. Tony's Trick, yo, Tricky Tony from Deltarune. Anyways, how y'all doing? We doing all right? We doing okay? Jeff Slenderman. Where's my Mayhem Mountain? I'm not familiar with Mayhem Mountain. You have to pick your favorite 60, 66, 68. Which one would you pick? Honestly, man, it's a tough one, but I think I'm gonna have to go with 6, 7. Oh my god. Oh my god, guys. This is he did the funny number. Yeah. Oh my god, guys. This has been so funny. This has been great. This is like the best turnout of a live stream I've had in ages. Be some shit you never heard of though. Like the Dad's Red Wilderness. My thing is trees. I'm sure those creepypastas are great. Six. Oh, that's a tough one. 6, 7, or 69. I think I have my answer. You know it's got to be 6, 7. Oh my god. I had Death Trap from Rich Kid to watch. That sounds like Knights of Guinevere. Person who's only seen Knights of Guinevere, giving Knights of Guinevere the vibes right now. Absolute Kagama. Oh, Kagama. I don't like that. Sounds like it reminds me of Enema. I love creepypastas. I love so many creepypastas. I know too much. Shippy, who's your favorite creepypasta character? I know some real obscure shit. Who's your favorite? Tell me your favorite. And that's like unironic, like Death Trap Roger is literally something Mr. Beast would do. Everything reminds you of Enema, doesn't it? Shut up, Vincent. I am not going to take this from the guy who exclusively eats mac and cheese and Cheez-Its. Okay? I'm not gonna take that. Eat a green bean and then we'll talk. Then you can sit at the adult table. I can't take this from someone to whom fruit is too grown up of a food. Fruit is not too grown up. I just don't. I don't like it. You know what? This is rocks at glass houses. I apologize. I'd like to apologize for what I said. Character Slenderman has the most fun idea and a nice design. I'm like the one of you with him in this god awful movie. When will he explain the joke? Hello, Akade. I'll explain the joke again. It's that time of the hour. So, there earlier this year, there was this song released by the rap artist Skrilla called Doot Doot. And in the song, Skrilla says 6, 7. And that song got very popular with TikTok creators who were making edits of basketball players making baskets. And that's why the meme is so popular. That's the core of the appeal. Why does Skrilla say 6, 7? I have no idea, because the song literally stops in the middle. Like the music cuts out just so we can say 6, 7. So we have no idea. At least I don't have any idea. But that's just the source of it. What if Philip number was number 67? That would be really cool. All right, Vincent, I've done a cursory Google search. If I were to say favorite creep, I would tab the Caber Pen Pal accounts from Lloyd Broadcast Station. Cove for stories I thought were good. Because it was a metaphor for something we don't know. I like your English teacher level analysis here, Grounder. Candle Cove was an interesting creepypasta. It was one of the few that I read as a kid, and I thought it was good. My favorite thing about Candle Cove is that it was created by Chris Straub, who is the same guy who is currently doing the Local 58 analog horror YouTube series. And I quite like Local 58. I think it's good. Anyways, Vincent, I got a cursory Google search for you here. It says here 6-7 apparently refers to 67th Street in Chicago, an area known for crime and gun violence, and Skrilla appears to be referring to someone being gunned down on the street. Good Lord. Okay. How long have you been unemployed? 3 months. No, 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. What industry did you work in? I worked in the grocery store industry. I was a cashier, and I also worked at my grocery store's gas station. So I was a gas station attendant as well. What was the biggest year for Sodor between 1966 and 1968? You gotta know the biggest year for Sodor was 1967. I've seen all the Lonely Broadcast Station. Are you enjoying unemployment? On one hand, kinda, because my job wasn't great, and I'm actually going to college right now. So I'm actually back in college, getting educated. I'm getting edumacated, and it's good fun. My classes are pretty good. But on the other hand, I miss having money. I want money. I miss money, and finding a new job is going to be difficult. What is your degree field? Media production and journalism. That's really the crux of what I'm wanting to do is media production and journalism. Wait, guys, we need to see. Wait, oh, now I'm worried. Is this guy like a bot? Is this like an AI language model that's just like reading, like listening to me? Am I being paranoid? Probably, but like, is this a real person? I am not a bot, LMAO. Okay, good. My apologies, Akade. I just wanted to be sure. I'm just boring. No worries. Let's see here. What else do we have? I'm intrigued. Heard of the one scandal with? Oh no, not the Great Railway Caper. Oh, unfortunately, I've heard about it, Grounder. The Great Railway Caper is a rewrite of the 2020 Thomas film Marvelous Machinery. And it's not very good. The writing's not great. And also, there's a kind of very racist scene in it where a character introduces a train character named Kenji, who is a bullet train from Japan. And he's an actual character in the official Thomas and Friends series. But in the rewrite from MH1994, Kenji is introduced, and a very specific Chinese inspired theme from the original Thomas series plays, and it's. I know I'm sure he apologized for it, and I know he changed out the music, but still, that's not good. Sorry, guys. I really like chewing on my fingers. I really enjoy it. Do your max lines. Thank you, trees. Try and get those done probably tomorrow. Part of the media production business we like to work in. Preferably narrative storytelling. That's what I would like to do. I just like writing. Is the thing I like writing stories. I like coming up with stories. That's been one of my passions since like age 9 is to write stories. Walter, stop chewing, Walter. Oh, oh, bust my buffers. Something else I've also considered, Akade, is just like being like a writer of anything, really. Maybe not a journalist because I don't respect journalists, but I'm kidding, by the way. Journalists are fine. They're just kind of annoying sometimes. But one of these days, I'd really like to like write a book. I'd love to write a book or two. I like narrative filmmaking. I'll enjoy that, but I also like writing books. Maybe I could try and do something like in between that. Maybe who knows? Also, is Forest Full of Roses put on hold? No, Grounder. It's interesting you say that. Forest Full of Roses. Well, how do I say this? Everything up to chapter 6 is complete. Like chapters 1 through 6 are done. I just need to sit down and convert and like put them into video form. However, there are other chapters that I need to work on. I believe there are like 3 or 4 more chapters I need to do. However, Forest Full of Roses will be receiving an updated, like either a new chapter or like a collection of chapters in like one segment before the end of the year. We'll just say that. Maybe. Hopefully. Probably. But maybe not. Who knows? This is a really good time in history for that, I would think. There are so many different avenues that individuals can use to publish their work. Conversely, it means the market is very saturated. Yeah, the market is very saturated. I realize that. That's why if I do ever get out there and do something like that, I'm gonna make my thing as like different but uniquely different as possible. Like creatively unique. Something that the world doesn't have right now is what I'm wanting to do. Watch the Thomas special I've been working on in full. I have not seen your Thomas video trees. I have not seen it. If it's done, then like you can send it to me. Can't wait for whenever the next chapters of the Forceful Roses come out. Well, thank you, Grounder. I'm very proud of the story so far, and I can't wait to get more of it done. It's just that I need to sit down and like record more of the chapters. That, or I've been thinking about maybe just releasing the chapters like on my YouTube posts, just like releasing the documents, maybe. I don't know if anyone would be interested in reading that, but it might be easier. I'm still going to do audio versions of the stories. I just wanted to see if Rosie. I made a place of compilations for Rosie fan projects. Oh, really? Is Forest Full of Roses there? It'd be really cool if it were. Sit down and wait in this moment to move force credits and actually editing and not getting behind the scenes hype. I understand. I should make my lunch for tomorrow, and you hooked me, so I'd say you're pretty good, at least at writing YouTube live stream titles. Thank you, Akade. I'm glad you like the YouTube title. 6-7. Gotta wait till the 9th for one part to have stuff filmed. It's gonna be exciting to put together. Listen, if it's as long as it still has the scene with me as Boko, I'm game. I'm down. Oh man, this has certainly been a live stream to remember. 6-7. Did I miss you explaining it already? No, Reznov. In fact, I'll do it again. What if you were an employed man who explained the 69 meme? Well, I wouldn't do that on YouTube because explaining a sex position would probably get me kicked off the platform. All right, Reznov. So, 6-7 originates from a song called Doot Doot by the rap artist Skrilla. And at one part in the song, the music cuts out and Skrilla says 6-7. And that clip of him saying 6-7 became very popular on TikTok with creators that would do edits of basketball players, making baskets. That's your explanation. And it's been theorized that the 6-7 is a reference to 67th Street, which is a very violent part of Chicago. 6-7. Hello, Handful Macaroni. Hello, October. You're still Boko. I'm keeping Boko at all costs. That's what I like to hear. 6-7. Boat Co. It's my company, Boat Co. Holy crap, Lois, it's Proteus. Holy crap, Lois, it's Proteus. You did great as the old man in the videos. Well, I only did like one line for OJ. On an unrelated note to anything, I have a Tomy Diesel from Japan on the way for purposes. Well, Marie. Can you prove you're not an AI generated live stream? Sure. Penis, 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 penis. AI can't do that. AI can't just randomly go penis, 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 penis. John, as a white man, can you explain the socioeconomic climate of Uruguay? Pretty sure they can. Well, AI is getting too powerful. We need to kill all the data centers right now. Tatmer storyboard remake. Tatmer storyboard. Yo, Duck and Mavis. Duck and Mavis and Rusty and George and Oliver and Toad and Bulgy and Diesel and Stepney. All those characters. Everyone's there except for Edward. Edward didn't deserve it. I'm not this fellow AI. I believe you. Well, shit. Stepney wasn't either. I thought he was in like the prop blogs. Still no Edward. Marie, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Stepney was in the. I thought Stepney was in the prop logs with Oliver and Toad and Diesel and Bulgy. I thought I saw Stepney there. Was I wrong? Yeah, we'll learn of both. Well, it's funny you say that, Mars, because in the Brazilian dub of Magic Railroad, in that first Knapford Station shot, there is a scene. Well, like Thomas says, "Hello, Douglas." And so Douglas, he's there. He's like Douglas is mentioned by name in the Brazilian dub. I think that there is an S that is probably him, but we can't make it out very well. I still think it might be Stepney. It'd be really funny if Stepney was in Magic Railroad and not Edward, it'll be revealed that Billy the Silly Engine was originally created for that movie before being pushed back to season 11. Silly Billy. Finally, no Stepney. That's a shame. He should have been there. Billy Sweep. Billy Gang. Billy Gang. Shout out Billy Gang. Guys, talking about Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh boy, Akade, you have missed quite a bit. So, for context, for simple to the roar, no, for simple context, Akade, I like Thomas the Tank Engine. I am autistic. I have a lot of friends who also like Thomas the Tank Engine. Most of them are autistic, I believe. That's your explanation. We like Thomas the Tank Engine. If Billy was in the movie, Tatmer would have made $7 million. 6, 7. We started their scrapped hit era characters. I mean, we know Little Giant was scrapped season 6. We gotta know if there was any scrapped seasons 8 through 12 characters. Mavis, Oliver. The concept of a steak and cake viewer not knowing you like Thomas as well. I'm autistic, but I'm so on Thomas the Tank Engine. Beta Hank is the closest, sure. Well, Garnet, the thing about that is that these are random people who found my live streams. These are not people who are regular viewers. Little Giant was Ghislaine, not Hit. I know I was just using him as an example. Mavis, Oliver, Toad, Bulgy, Caroline, Diesel, Rusty. That's a good lineup. Bill and Ben should have been there too. Rusty Mavis are the only ones to appear in that stuff outside of the flashcards. Gotcha. It's not a checklist, it's a flashback. It's a flashback. So, oh, cards. Words. Also, another closest is the ugly Jeremy face. Yeah. I'm an organically grown new algorithm viewer. That's awesome. I'm glad that my stuff gets out there, like, and I get like new viewers and stuff. If it's any consolation to Wesley and Tactical and Akade, I don't just post Thomas videos. That is like my bread and butter, but I do post other videos as well that might be of interest. What I imagine happened is this: the roster from the circus cut, and it slowly got cut down to just Mavis and Rusty, and even then, even they die. I can believe that. I can totally believe that. Something I'm thinking about doing sometime next year. I want to sit down and do a. I want to film me playing Among Us with a bunch of my friends. That is something I would like to do. I want to play Among Us. Playing Among Us with my friends would probably be fun. Frontline special on, I was watching an old PBS Frontline special on Catholicism in America, and your video was recommended to me. What is you trying to tell me? I wonder, dude. I am. I'm not. I'm like. Okay. What am I in relation to Catholicism? I was baptized Catholic, but I more closely identify with being a Methodist. I like being Methodist. They're the chillest branch of Christianity. Yeah. To executive due to money time, they carried the rest of the elements, engines 3 through 7, Birdie, and Harold. You know, it's interesting that Mavis got as far into production being a character as she did, because